Hello everyone, you're warmly welcome along to a special Whirlpool preview of Irish Derby Day at the Curragh. This Sunday you can enjoy it, 9 races to look forward to, the feature coming up midway through the card. Delighted to be joined once again by Graham Cunningham here for our studio preview show, and also joining us from the Emerald Isle, that man Fran. So we've got lots to be getting through, lots to look forward to as well. First race, run locally at 1:15, is the Dubai Duty Free Handicap, 3-year-olds over 1,800 metres. Thunder Wonder for the most informed trainer around, Charlie Johnson. Mississippi River, fascinating runner, so too Shiota. Further down, Iron Fist, Lady in Paris, Triple Double A, Sujet on return, and Nyman. Shiota, let's have a look at some recent winning form, Graham Cunningham.
Yeah, this is an improving filly. And connections are banging form. Joseph Murphy, Gary Carroll, Group 1 success with Sarseni at Royal Ascot. This is an interesting horse, Fran, because she's a hold-up filly. She's got a turn of foot. Her last 2 wins read pretty well. And they're putting a hood on her this weekend for the first time. Not easy for the handicapper to catch up with a horse like this.
It's not, and you can see inside the final 100 yards, she just does the bare minimum to win. She has a tendency to go right under pressure, and Gary Carter, winning rider then, was ready for her. And Graham, I get the impression there's more to come from her. She's a work in progress and is definitely in the mix here again on this occasion.
Iron Fist, Fran, I'm going to stick with you here. Keithan Kennedy takes off the 5 for Jessica Harrington. Still a maiden, any chance of that changing on Sunday?
Getting better at racing. I had a good juvenile campaign last season and ridden with more restraint on a decent surface here recently at Fairyhouse. He came there looking like a winner before getting mowed down by an unexposed type, a smart-looking type in the red and white colours, Mo Cree, who looks like a 2,400-metre horse in the making. In comparison, Iron Fist, I would suggest in the back of this running, dropping back down to this trip of 1,800 metres could be very suitable for him as well. He just wasn't as strong inside the last 150 metres as you'd expect, but it was a good progressive run, being on the turn, going right-handed again at the Curragh should suit him very well. Good
claimer for the first time. And Harrington stable going somewhat better now than they did early in the spring.
Right, Graham, let's get your thoughts on one of the Joseph O'Brien runners, if not both of them, but certainly take in previous form courtesy of Viking Invasion, who's finished third the last twice, including in a very valuable race 2 starts ago.
Yeah, I think he might be a little bit more exposed than a few of these. He's 1 from 9. He was 4th behind Shiota at Naas a couple of starts ago. And here, what do you think, Fran? He looked a little bit, how shall we say, a bit half-hearted off the bridle. I'm not completely convinced by this horse.
He's a bit soft, and I think the ground being deep on this occasion, he just lay down a little bit under pressure. In comparison to winner, Eastwatch is very effective on a deep surface. Getting back on a sound surface and a more conventional track at the Curragh could suit him well. I do think he's handicapped his limit at present.
OK, on to the selections. Graham, I sort of sense that we might not yet have mentioned your idea of the winner, Mississippi River, perhaps?
Yeah, I think me and Fran might be on a similar page here. Not often you get a Ballydoyle horse you think might be well ahead of his handicap mark, but Mississippi Rippy is bred to be a good horse, and I think he's coming around quite strongly. He was impressive last time. He turns out fairly quickly, but I think he might be well handicapped. 2, Mississippi River. Shiota speaks for herself. She's in great form. The hood might bring about a bit more improvement. 7 and 13. But Fran Berry, I think we both like Mississippi River here.
Number 2, Mississippi River, inside draw, much improved last time on a sound surface. Track will suit him very well. He'll kick off today for trainer Aidan O'Brien and Ryan Moore with success in the open race. Shiota on the improve, I think he'll run home to his second. Number 3, an unexposed type down the bottom of the race. Number 12, Sujet back in third, and top weight, the English Raider, Thunder Wonder back and fourth.
OK, could have gone for the listed race actually later in the card, Mississippi River. I'm going to make it a team steam. Number 2, Mississippi River for me to win the first. Welcome along to a preview of race 2 at the Curragh this Sunday, and it is one of the major handicaps, of which there are a few on the card. It is a 1,600-metre race, 3-year-olds and upwards. Take a look at this course at the home of Irish flat racing as they'll turn right before they swing into the home straight and very much fan themselves out into some semblance of order. Let's see who wins it in 2025. Booyah won it last year as one of the players this year. Kurdor is there. Chazesme, Spoken Truth, State Actor, Akachita. It's been running well. I Am Superman, Retracement, Serialise, Urban Sprawl and Steve Binion. Let's have a look at last year's form because it could be a key link into this year, Graham.
Could be. Do you remember this was run at a blazing gallop last year? The leaders went off much too fast. Booyah seemed to relish it. State Actor ran really well in defeat. Not quite sure what to make of him right now. But Booyah is only £3 above this handicap mark. You can see him creeping up the rail and switched, staying on strongly. State Actor was a lightly raced horse at this point. He ran well in defeat. Booyah made his reappearance 5th of 7 at Fairyhouse, wasn't knocked about, and he's only £3 higher than last year. Can he go well again, Fran?
Very much so. He should be all the better for that recent run at Fairyhouse, and a different test here to Curragh on Sunday should suit him very well. The sound surface also will play to his strengths. He's on a career high mark, Graham, but I do think with that run he should be competitive.
Fran, let's have a look at last year's Irish Lincoln winner Chazisme, who doesn't come out all that often, this horse, but certainly worth noting when he does.
Irish Lincoln winner and almost pulled off the double in Doncaster, only beaten 5 lengths from backing up in the English version on that occasion. Extended layoff, hadn't run since this weekend last year, and this was a decent return to action on a speed favouring track at Listowel. Wouldn't have played to his strengths, and he may well have just got tired inside the final furlong. Plenty to like about the run. The eventual second Nobler has gone on to get off the mark subsequent to this in maiden company. One concern about him at the Curragh this weekend is the ground. He really thrives on a soft surface. Watch the weather with him.
Graham, let's have a look at some British form, English form in the form of Akachita. She is an Irish runner, but she ran at Epsom at the Derby weekend last time.
Yeah, this is a super tough handicap, so I just want one on my side that has a high-quality record of consistency in good handicaps. Pick her up, left of picture, the grey Akachita. This is over a somewhat longer trip. She comes out of the pack. She never looks like getting to the impressive winner, but she runs on strongly, and she's just highly likely to run a solid race. If there's a strong improver on show, she may be vulnerable, but her record is highly, highly reliable. I'm sure she'll give you a good run again this weekend.
Yeah, can't see anything other than that. She does generally run well, and it's only a year since she made her debut. She's packed a lot in so far. Let's have a look at a horse who Fran recently has come to Ireland, made it 2 from 4 so far since joining up with the Gerard O'Leary yard. That's Love Billy Boy.
Yeah, and this really good success in Leopardstown. Very, very strongly run race in the front end. Big spread in the field. And Love Billy Boy, who had a decent level of form and trained the UK, transferred it here with this second success in Ireland after winning in the early part of the season at Naas. And again, switched out to middle of the track by Keaton Kennedy, or Wayne Hassel, excuse me. Finished off the race extremely well to get up and beat the pace-setting Transcendent Glory, a previous winner in the yellow and red colours, also in a mix. Fort Vega, the eventual second in the yellow and black colours, finishing off extremely well down towards the outer. But in truth, the winner was very authoritative here, and he's still, for me, an unknown quantity in this grade of a race in Ireland. The winner, the second, haven't gone on to win subsequent to that. It's a strong line of form.
I agree with that. Graham, the selections.
Yeah, Fran has one here that I'm fearful of. Might be an improver. More of that in a moment. Some handicaps you have a real confident feel about, others are really tough. This one is really tough. But I'm going to go 8, 2, 4, 13. Akachita is super consistent. I think she'll run well again. Second, Court d'Or, ran well in this race last year. The third, Love Billy Boy, and fourth, Sleeve Binion. But Fran Berry, you have a sneaky one here, I suspect.
I do. Number 10, Retracement. Our World Pool viewers will remember Irish Guineas weekend, a battle royale between the winner of Puraku, but on a speed favouring track, one horse came out of pack on that occasion to be 5th, and it was the Irish debutant Retracement, number 10. He is likely raised to open to more improvement down in distance here on his second start for trainer Johnny Murtagh. He's the one for me to be with. Number 10, Retracement. Sleeve Binion, very consistent, definitely will be in the mix for the minor places, as should State Actor, number 6, and Booyah, last year's winner, as well in the mix. But the unknown quantity for me, Retracement, could be ahead of the handicapper.
Love it. Nice, good spread as well. I'm going to go for Love Billy Boy to continue the excellent form in Ireland. Best of luck, whatever you're going for. The fast horses on show for race 3, which is a listed contest over 1,200 metres, the Jebali Racecourse and Stables Dash. No turn needed here, 1,200 metres, rather straight course at the Curragh, and a fair few of these know the track quite well indeed, not least the first two that I mentioned, my mate Alfie, Big Gossie. King Cooan's there, Russet Gold, Super Socks, Navassa Island, very interesting runner in the form of Seattle. On the day, Graham, we've got a number of horses across the card coming back to try and win their race again. My mate Alfie's looking to do just that.
Absolutely, and he's a very easy horse to like because he's much improved, he's generally highly consistent, and we pick him up. This was the start of a purple patch for my mate Alfie. Not only did he win this, but he won the Bowl Lad Handicap, one of Ireland's biggest sprint handicaps, and a Group 3 over this course and distance in the autumn. But this was the start of his progression, and he's not a complicated horse. He stalks the pace, he stays on really strongly. The slight negatives, perhaps, he has a £5 penalty this time around. He wins this in a very tight finish 12 months ago. Fran, we're going to throw from this to the Greenland Stakes last time, Group 2 race, and I thought it went wrong from an early stage for my mate my mate Alfie. What did you think of the Greenlands?
Yeah, for him it was over very early in the pack. Low draw on that occasion, didn't get the cover that he'd like on that for Colin Keane on the wing of the field. In comparison, the pace held up. James Delight and Little Levi, both of whom are up at the pace throughout. Vespertillo, keep an eye on her red cap. She's finding her niche, formerly second in the French Guineas. She's finding her niche as a sprinter. Didn't get a lot of cover on this occasion. And the Dashing Grey, as you can see, just looking for a bit of room now. Big Gossy, he's the one that's got to switch out, switch back inside Vespertillo and finishes off best of all. But the winner and the second had real set two inside the final furlong. No English challengers of note in this race on Saturday, Graham. For me, Vespertillo, Big Gossy, they're definite contenders. But my mate Alfie did not have to run the race this occasion.
Graham, Big Gossy's had, 75 career starts? Quite a contrast to Seattle, who we're going to look at.
Yeah, that's a good point. Big Gossy is a major player here. Seattle is the X factor because we just don't know how good he might be. What we do know is that he cost €2.2 million, son of Siuni, 6th at York. 12 months off the track, something must have been problematic. Here we pick him up. It's a 1,000 metre maiden at Navan. He does the job quite tidily, but if you're looking at ratings, he ran to a mark mid-80s, pushing 90 at very, very best. So he takes a marked step up in class. And the other thing to mention, it's Aidan, it's Ryan. He's bound to be very well found in the World Pool. And for the moment, Fran, I'm inclined to think, not sure about Seattle. What do you think?
More by reputation and the connections. The form of that race taken a lot of knocks since then, and you need to step up a lot to figure here for me.
Yeah.
Fran, what do you think we might expect? It's difficult to know from Super Sox.
1 or 2 runners in the race for Paddy Toomey. She was getting better at the latter end of last season, and this was a very good win at Cork, travelling strongly at that occasion. The filly whom she beat, our Hong Kong viewers know, she won Dance Night and Day, won the final race of Irish Champions Weekend at Leopardstown last September, and she runs later on the card here at Curragh. But Super Sox bossed this field. She was probably idling a little bit in front once getting there, but she did enough to win. Afterwards, she backed up with 2 decent runs, including only being beaten less than 2 lengths by my mate Alfie at the corner final start. She's a nice filly who can only get better as a 4-year-old this season. I don't think running at this trip on her first run of the year, and the fact she's not the choice of stable rider Billy Lee, she's probably best watching this occasion.
Fran, that seems key, isn't it? I was quite keen on Super Sox. Then I saw that Billy Lee is going to ride Paddy Toomey's other runner, King Kuan, who seems a strong chance here.
Yeah, unfortunately, King Kuan misses a trio campaign last year. He was well placed to really good effect, win some good prize money as a juvenile. On the back of that recent win at Fairyhouse, I can see why rider Billy Lee is sticking with him. He was very, very good on that occasion, Graham. He went around hard on the bridle, beating a really good type in Tango Flair, who admittedly will be an outsider here on Sunday, but he had race fitness on his side, but class came to the fore with King Kuan. I think as a 4-year-old, the best yet to come from him. And if you want to look outside the bubble of the horse we've seen running at the Curragh in list in Group 3 and Group 2 company in recent times, for me, he's the one to be with.
A tricky one. So selections?
2, 1, 9, 4 for me. I'm going with the older horses, the proven quantities. So I'm going to go Big Gossy, slightly unlucky in a strong race last time. 1, my mate Alfie, even with the penalty, bound to run well today. And Vespertilio 9 and 4 King Kuan. Tough sprint, but Big Gossy, as always, should give us a good run.
Fran?
Stepping outside the bubble of what happened at the Curragh Irish Guineas weekend, I'm going to go with King Kuan, the unknown quantity, number 4. My mate Alfie back in second, number 1, battle hard, loves the Curragh and has a better draw on this occasion. Vespertillo back in third, number 9, and the likeable Grey, number 2, Big Gossy back in fourth.
I take a chance that it could be Vespertilio's day. I think that she's worth persevering with, number 9 for me. In what looks potentially quite an open running of our third contest. Race 4 is the Colin McLaughlin Celebration Stakes, a listed race, and it's run once again over the 1,600 metres as we're taking the round there. You can see as they'll spin on the pretty hallowed turf and hallowed course and distance the Irish Guineas run earlier in the season. There are 9 runners this year, including last year's successful champion, Lord Massachusetts. Skakuza's there, the Liffey's there, Blue Drum, Alicante, Curragh, interesting, and Fiery Lucy. They are your 9. I've mentioned one that I know you're interested in. Let's have a look at Curragh, Graham.
Yeah, pretty straightforward, I think, here. I think this horse is just good enough to go very close. And if he shows a little bit more improvement, so much the better. He's been in fairly deep. He's won 2 from 7. We pick him up over 1,800 metres at Leopardstown. The horse in front, Green Impact, is the eventual winner, and he runs in the Irish Derby this weekend. Curragh comes out of the pack to lay down a strong challenge. He can't quite go by, but his rating of 107 and his consistency and his high-class connections, Paddy Toomey, top target trainer, suggests to me that here we have a prime player for race 4.
I think he's a player indeed. Fran, let's have a look at last year's winner, Lord Massachusetts. He's an incredibly solid and redoubtable fella, this one. And actually, it's a bit unkind of me in ways because he's a very good horse as well.
He is, and he's only 5. It feels like he's been around for longer than that, but he's very, very consistent, Nick. And the way he went through the race, this feat, he doesn't tell the whole story. Had a rough trip in the first couple of furlongs, but he found a seam between the pace-setting Norwalk Havoc and the eventual third Assad to come there travelling strongly. And like he did when he's on song, he finds plenty inside the final furlong. Turning mile tracks really bring out the best in him. Last time, put a line through his recent run at Leopardstown. He got no cover on that occasion. He was very good in winning at the previous time at that track. He showed he's still as good as ever. And that turning mile downhill run track here, which he encounters again on Sunday, really plays to his strengths.
Okay, plenty to potentially bring in, albeit a smaller field. So who's your 1, 2, 3, 4?
It's important you grade your confidence with these races. I like this race, and I like Curragh. I think he's a very strong contender. Only had 7 runs, open to a bit more improvement. His rating already gives him a great chance. Another 3-year-old, Fiery Lucy, is dead consistent. She comes into the mix. And 3-1, 8, 9, 3-1. But with Curragh clear on top for me. What about you, Fran?
I'm going to go with the English Raiders. I was very impressed by Skakuza, who did us a good turn in Irish Guineas weekend. Is up in grade here on the round track rather than straight track, but Ryan Moore on board, stall one against Skakuza to beat an unexposed 3-year-old number 7, Alikazi back in second, Curragh in third. He's on a good road at present, and last year's winner in fourth, number 1, Lord Massachusetts.
Okay, I know Graham likes 3-year-olds. I'll go that one as well. But Fiery Lucy for me, 3-year-olds have won 3 of the last 4 runnings to this. I think she's very good indeed. Best of luck, whatever you're playing. Race 5 looks a cracker. It's all about speed. 1,000 metres to the Rockingham Handicap, a Premier Handicap as well. Very important race. 14 declared runners, straight 1,000 metres, and it's a track which needs a little introduction there. It will be all over pretty quickly. Right, let's have a look at the runners. Thunderbear's there, the Highway Rat, Kiki, Little Queenie, further down the likes of Duran, Apache Outlaw, Harry's Hill won this once upon a time, Red Evolution, Moral Turpitude, Sporting Hero, and Cuban Grey. Let's go back to last autumn and take in, principally, Kiki.
Yeah, we both like this horse. This horse is a really interesting runner. Harry's Hill is haloed there. Kiki comes from well off the pace, and watch his turn of foot. This is a hot handicap, and he settles it with a really striking late burst. Fascinating quote, funny quote from trainer Eddie Lyman. In his early days, he couldn't run a message. Fran Berry, he can run in some style now, can't he?
He can, and the best yet to come from this horse, I think, this season, and this is the turn of foot that he showed, albeit at a lower grade, but over this course here to Curragh, to put daylight between himself and his rivals. Greek Flower, who reopposes Harry's Hill, all very good handicappers, but again, on this occasion, Kiki in a league of his own, Graham, and I expect him to be at his peak on this occasion here on Sunday.
Fran, he caught the eye running well last time out. I think he's ready to peak. Are we going to let stall 1 cloud our judgment in any way here, or is the draw not a major factor?
No, with the stalls in the middle of the track, I'm prepared to take my chance. In an ideal world, you would be looking for middle to high draw. He's a hold-up horse, though. Billy Lee will just take his time. And what could be a messy race, he's got options to go right or left of his rivals. And I just think he's that well handicapped, he can do what he wants in him.
Fran, let's have a look at one actually who was in behind Kiki there and go back to this day last year. Greek Flower finished second. The Greek Flower and the Curragh in these kind of handicaps, you can't really leave this horse out of your calculations, can you?
And a freaky race, well, stall 1 we just mentioned, of course, Amazon Lady, the winner, done a solo on the far side of the track in the green cap, left a shot. Greek Flower burst through to win the race on her side effectively. Really good effort. She doesn't win a lot, Greek Flower, but she does win at the Curragh. She runs extremely well in big Premier handicaps. Her trainer tends to target meetings like this. And if you're to blur out the horse on the far side, she was a good winner of this race last year.
She's very, very solid indeed, and I think she's quite well handicapped. Graham?
Yeah, she can pull hard, she can get well behind, but she finished strongly, and the nature of races like this set up well for her, so she's in my numbers again.
Let's have a look at a recent win, and actually quite an important key piece of form, where they were led home by Fair Taxes, if there is such a thing, Graham.
I think this is a key piece of form, and get a small blanket to cover these four at the finish. And it depends which way you read the race. I think Thunderbear, who is held up and comes through strongly, is a really likeable, consistent horse. But Fair Taxes, equally dead consistent. We've got Apache and Little Queenie on the far side. So take your pick here. We've got Fair Taxes who wins, Little Queenie just beaten in second, Thunderbear coming between horses, Strong finishing third, and Apache Outlaw in fourth. One way or another, Fran, this race must be an important clue, I think.
Yeah, in Fair Taxes, he went off too quick at Chester in his previous run, ridden with a little bit more restraint and rhythm on this occasion. He found nicely for pressure. He's an improving 4-year-old. I think the best is yet to come from him as well. Thunderbear, though, top weight again here. That was a cracking effort. He can only improve off that. I wouldn't dismiss him by any means.
I think the in-running markets that day were all over the place when Fair Taxes won, all sorts of favourites. Right, Graham, who wins this?
Well, I think me and Fran are in firm agreement here. His trainer said he couldn't run a message in his early days. He can certainly run now, and Kiki's turn of foot can prove crucial here. 1, 8 and 10 as backup. But Fran, we're in this together with Kiki, I think.
Third time lucky this season for Kiki, and I think it's his day. He's got a good setup, notwithstanding stall number 1. He should get his big day in the sun. Number 3, the Highway Rat, back in form recently in Navan. He's a contender. Number 2, back in second. English Raider, Duran, number 6, back in third. And top weight, don't dismiss Thunderbear by any means, back in fourth.
Okay. Gents, thank you very much indeed. It'd be folly really to take you on, but I'm going to do it. Greek Flower, who's got so many good runs under her belt at the Curragh. I'd be delighted if she gets another one. Number 8, Greek Flower. Race 6, this big Whirlpool day, it's the race that shapes the day, is the Dubai Duty-Free Irish Derby of 2025, and it is the 3-year-olds Colts Classic that we are so looking forward to. Group 1 race, of course, 2,400 metres. Let's have a look at just that test and think about some of the finest of the thoroughbred that have swung round right and into the home straight before that little bit of immortality. There are 10 assembled this year, and hopefully they all stand their ground. 50% of them saddled by Aidan O'Brien, who bids for a record-extending 17th win, would you believe, in this race. Green Impact's there. Lambourne, the Derby winner, bids to follow up at the Curragh. Lazy Griff, Pride of Arras, Puppet Master, Serious Contender, Shackleton, Sedina Dan, Tennessee Stud, and Thrice. There is only one start in place, Graham, and that's Epsom, as Lambourne bids to be the 20th horse to do the double.
Absolutely, and great to have, as things stand, the first 3 from Epsom. But we wanted to show you this, folks, early on, because this race was shaped at an early stage. Lambourne kept it simple, broke well, right on the speed. Lazy Griff was not lazy at all. He got a very good position. But the 2 others in midfield there, Tennessee Stud was squeezed slightly, ended up way back, and Pride of Arras pick him up about 4 or 5 from the left of the picture. He pulled too hard early on. He just didn't handle the occasion or the track and was well beaten. So I wanted to have a quick look at this to establish the fact that 2 horses, Tennessee Stud and Pride of Arras, were not well placed. Pick them up over 2 out, Fran, and it's a one-act affair as Lambourne boots clear.
Yeah, and it was an easy watch for Ron Lambourne. He just found such a nice rhythm out in the track. Wayne Lorden going along with good, even 12-second furlongs for much of the race. But once he let him go at the 2-furlong marker, he was intent on stretching his rivals. And the further he went, the more authoritative it was. Lazy Griff, cracking effort, keeping up that form from Chester when they met most recently. And Tennessee Stud out of his comfort zone, perhaps in the track, maybe at the trip, picking up the piece late on to be third. But the winner for me, Graham, visually, and the way he went through the race, was in a league of his own here. It was a very easy watch, and the way he went through the race, he can really improve, I think, again off that.
I've watched that video multiple times, just like Fran has, just like you have. When I watch it, I think there's one Group 1 horse in that race, maybe 1.5, and the one is Lambourne.
Let's have a look at an alternative, to say the least. And Green Impact steps up in trip, long considered a good animal. We knew that at 2, and this was the return win, of course, second start for the season, last time out. Are you positive about this horse?
Yes, I am. When he ran in the Guineas, 2,000 Guineas, 1,600 metres, he didn't run badly, but the stable couldn't buy a winner at that point.
True.
They have been coming back to some sort of form. We've already seen this clip once today. It's 1,800 metres. It's an uncomplicated ride. He stays on gallantly, Fran, and he gives me the impression, at least, that 2,400 metres should not be a problem to him. What do you think?
No, and you got to remember he beat Delacroix twice last season, including in that success in Group 2 company at Leopardstown, third win the track for him here on this occasion. And given, as you said, the way the stable are going early in the season, he was up at the speed in the English Guineas. He paid a price for that at the 2 furlong marker. I think time will tell. He's going to find his niche in around 2,000, and even today's trip of 2,400 metres, he's only coming to hand. He's got the form last season, and the last win was a good step along the way to get here to the Curragh.
Let's have a look at the race, the best trial in so many ways, seemingly, for the Derby each and every year. It's York, it's the Dante in mid-May. The wheels kind of need to be put back on this race this year, don't they? It's not been a vintage, certainly in the month since, a vintage running.
Yeah, this stat still blows my mind. 6 horses from the Dante Franberry ran at Epsom, and staggeringly, not one of them made the first 10. But on this day, we couldn't knock Pride of Arras in any way. He looked a highly promising young horse, and I think I'm inclined to just give him a pass. The occasion, the track and pulling hard just got to him at Epsom. But prior to that, he looked pretty good. We have to admit, though, the Dante form took a bit of a shoeing at Epsom.
It did, but with unique characteristics of Epsom, we learn more as to the overall form of that race as the season progressed, Graham. But he was very good on that occasion, and he got taken into account. He'd one run as a juvenile. This was his seasonal debut. Did it in good style. Did he go backwards physically, mentally, and in every way from that win at Epsom? It was too bad a run to be true. More conventional track at the Curragh, we'll get a better reading as to his true ability, perhaps. And I'd give him a pass for Epsom and judge him more what he does on Sunday at the Curragh.
OK, right, selection time, Graham. Now, you pointed out to me when we were talking about this earlier, for all that Aidan O'Brien's done the double, Epsom and the Curragh plenty of times. They've not all followed up. Does Lambourne do it, though?
I think he does. Has he won this race 16 times, Aidan O'Brien?
Yeah.
8 of his Epsom winners came onto the Curragh. 5 of them won, including Lambourne's sire, Australia. And he seems so uncomplicated and so generous. I think he's come from a left field. I don't think he was regarded as a top-notcher last year, but he's a proper Group 1 horse now, dead uncomplicated. He's the one to beat. 2, 9, 1, 4, Fran. We are both losing out Lazy Griff. But what do you think?
I think Lambourne is in a league of his own to his rivals. The best yet to come. He was so tired when he won at Epsom that back at the Curragh he should be very hard to beat again. Tennessee Stud, a work in progress. More conventional track should play to his strengths. I think he'll be second, number 9. Pride of Arras, we didn't see the best of him at all in Epsom. The Dante winner, more conventional track again. I hope it'll suit him good here at the Curragh. He should finish back in 3rd. And Green Impact, maybe just not seeing out a strong run, 2,400 metres back in 4th, number 1.
And Nick, people will say, why are these two talking heads both leaving out the Derby runner-up, Lazy Griff? Fran, just to clarify, I think we're both a bit concerned that a dry weekend forecast, the ground might not be perfect for Lazy Griff this weekend. What do you think?
I think just the conditions at the Curragh may not fully play to his strengths, and he was just a little bit more streetwise, went through the race in a better manner than some of his rivals at Epsom. It was a cracking run, but I just wonder how it'd be in very quick ground if it materialises that way at the Curragh.
Fran, I'm going to surprise you. I'm all in on the favourite. Number 2, Lambourne for me to win the Irish Derby. Race 7, working our way towards the tail end of the cards at the Curragh this Sunday. It's the Reggusa Handicap. It's run over 2,400 metres. Of course, the same course and distance as the Irish Derby, the race that precedes it. These horses far more established. We know plenty about them indeed. Got last year's winner in the field. Right, let's have a look at the decks for 2025 Harbour Wind. Last year's winner is Star Harbour. Westminster Moon, Lope de Lilas, Cheeky Wink, Fleetfoot, Soaring Monarch, Kearlock, Zoffman, Lord Church, and down to the likes of Bisset and First Ascent. Doesn't win all that often, Fran, Star Harbour, but did pop up very valuably on this day in this race last year.
And a good run of form from subsequent to that, winning at Tipperary and the Punchestown. But this was a big day for Star Harbour. He kept on strongly in the headgear under rider Adam Caffrey, who was claiming £3 on this occasion. This horse now is £3 higher this year. I know no claim for Adam Caffrey, but he thrives on good ground. He should be, even after quite a busy campaign, back to something like his best. He did bomb out last time at the Curragh, but back here at a more suitable trip, he should be a different proposition. Question mark is, a year on, £3 higher in the weights, can he contain some obvious improvers? He's likely to get into mix, but may well find one or two too good again here.
OK, Graham, let's see him in action, and it'll be form he needs to reverse, from the Curragh Irish Guineas weekend at the end of May. Fran will be hopeful retracement's already given the form a good boost going into the day. This is key form.
Eyes everywhere here because we've got 4 or 5 horses. Cloud Seeker, very uncomplicated. Kialak in behind, slightly short of room. If you look further back, Zoffman, I think he finishes 10th, but he's very short of room late in the piece. So this looks a key galloping clue. Sunday's race is a somewhat longer distance. I think that will play to the strengths of Cloud Seeker and Kialak, perhaps. So of this lot, I like Kialak. As you can see, it's a bit of a bunch finish. It might well be the same this weekend, but 1 or 2 horses from this race are in tremendous form and look sure to go well again.
Do indeed. Right, on to that. Graham, your selections.
Yeah, I'm going to take a chance with a filly who had a big reputation this time last year. She's not really lived up to it quite yet, but Lope de Lilas ran an excellent race 2 starts ago. She went to France last time, was fancied for a listed race. I think she did a little too much too early in front. I'm sure she's got a race like this in her, and I'm going to give her 1 more chance. 5, Lope de Lilas, ahead of 7 and 10, Cloud Seeker and Kialak, with Lord Church in for 4th. More from Fran on Lord Church, who takes a big step up in distance.
He does indeed. Lord Church bombed out last time with ridden too aggressively over a shorter trip over 1,600 metres. He's a definite contender, but down the bottom of weights, an ex-English trained filly who created a big impression when she won an Irish debut at Sligo is number 14, Beset. This one trained by Joseph O'Brien. I think on the back of a good run at Goodwood, a low draw here at the bottom of the weights. She's the one to be with back up in trip. And number 14, Beset, to beat Lord Church. He should be more in his comfort zone up in distance. Number 12, Cloud Seeker. He'll be on the pace and should run a big race again back in turn number 7. And likely to pick up the piece later on, the 4th home, number 10, Kialak.
I want something solid on my side, and I think that one that these two have both mentioned, number 7, Cloud Seeker, to win our 7th race. Race 8 of the 9 this Sunday is a filly's handicap, filly and mare's handicap, over 1,400 metres, just shy of the mile, but it is the straight track that they will take in, and a very, very big prize pot on offer as well, so they're all gunning for it. Let's have a look at the runners. Dance Night and Day. Indigo 5 won this last year. Matariki's there. Bella Isabella. Further down, the likes of Sweet Chariot, Vavavroom, Enchanted Garden, White Clover, and at the bottom, Neo Smart. Fran, not for the first time, we've talked about horses coming back to try and win on this day in this race. Can Indigo 5 do it after last year?
Trainers claiming off, taking £7 off her, and I can see why, but she's up in the weights from this win last season. She's also gained a success at this track earlier in the campaign back here in March. Loves the Curragh and loves handicaps and can get up to the speed, and crucially, when she gets on the speed, she can find plenty for pressure, just getting up inside the final stride to win on this occasion in a real set 2. With the eventual second, who finished off strongly, Plume Noir, the white colours, but Indigo 5, finds a way to win, and at this track with a £7 claim on board, on the back of a really good effort in listed company, taking on 2 unexposed 3-year-olds last time. She should be banged there, even with the higher weight that she has to carry here on this occasion.
Graham, I have to say that I'm really hoping that Bella Isabella goes well. She separates 2 of my selections from earlier in the day when she finished 3rd last time at Leopardstown. She's beautifully bred. She's got a couple of group race entries. I like her.
Yeah, I can understand why, but this is a handicap, and she's got a mark of 95, so she needs to be a potential group race filly to win. Here we pick her up in an unusual race. It was a good quality race, but the hulking filly in front, Vera's Secret, just got a roll on and nothing got in a block. In context of the race, I thought Bella Isabella was better placed than 1 or 2. She's useful filly, but I'm just not quite sure she's good enough to defy a mark of 95 in this company.
OK, let's see how she gets in. Sure, gets on. She's one of the players. Fran, you already mentioned Dance Night and Day. Dance Night and Day, who was a winner, of course, on one of the big Hong Kong World Pool previews in the past, or one of the big days. How do you think she can go?
She should be at her peak after a couple of runs this season, the most recent of which came at Naas this race. Nick, I was a little bit disappointed with her. She shaped really well on her season debut in a handicap at Cork. I thought she would be a big contender here, but it was a little bit flat inside the last 300 metres. I think she's way better than that, and crucially, the form of this race worked out very well since the black colours, the winner coming through. Coco Comanda Sands gone on to win in Group 3 company, and back and forth to Liffey was well punted for the Royal Hunt Cup at Royal Ascot. He didn't figure there. He's better than that though, and Dance Night and Day back into Philly's only company at a track that will suit her better than perhaps the Naas. Should be a contender, and even off top weight she should be well in the mix here on this occasion.
Okay, 13 declared, 9 get the scratch. Who's in the 4?
Yeah, this is a wide open handicap. I think I might have found one at a price winning place here. It's number 6. Bellafina. She's caught the eye in 2 reasonable handicaps this season, but on both occasions she was held up, caught in a pocket and came home strongly. The gaps come this time. I think she can run really well. 6 and 2 on top of 3 and 12. Bellafina, a sporting one in race 8.
I think by the time you get to race 8 you can certainly throw one in. Fran, what about you?
I'm going to go with Raimura in O'Brien. Sweet Chariot's form ties in with a number of arrivals, but I do think getting back into Curragh after running a Leopardstown recently with a low draw will play to her strengths and offer a rating in relation to her rivals. She should be very competitive here. Number 8, Sweet Chariot to win. Top 8, Dance Night and Day back in form to be back in second. Number 1, Bella Isabella. Number 5, back in third. And Enchanted Garden, a possible pace angle, should be there to death. Number 10, back in fourth.
OK, I'm going to go for that grey filly, number 5, Bella Isabella, to win race 8. Beautifully bred. I hope she's up to the job. And so to the last race, the 9th and final contest on this big World Pool Sunday at the Curragh. We have saved the biggest and the longest for last. 29 declared runners for this 3,200-metre Stayers Handicap. London City's back. I'm only going to pick out a few of this. It's just page 1. Gentleman Joe, brilliant light. 2 Bossy for us, interesting. Mordor, Darton, Brosna Town, Filey Bay, Levita Nova could be one of the players. A lot of joy. Over the page, Moncourt, Brazil, winner at the Cheltenham Festival once upon a time. Reverend Hubert, Lord Erskine, Golden Temple, Last Ammo, Open Secret, Dark Oak. I've mentioned Fran, a horse who has mastered the test before. That was Golden Temple, winning last year.
And a really good success on this occasion, up at the speed, and on a day where the home bend was riding particularly sharp, it favoured a horse on the front end, and he was well ridden by rider Jamie Powell, but he did have to show a lot of resolution to fend off the graded truant in behind, and a horse in the blinkers at this stage. How about Noah staying on? It was a stronger version of this race last season. He was well ridden, well placed, Golden Temple, but I suggest, Graham, this year's renewal is in a different league to this, and it's hard to see Golden Temple for me repeating the same trick that he showed here, albeit in a game fashion, to win on this occasion.
Agree completely. He's also been in action fairly sparingly since, and he didn't shine at all on his latest hurdles run, so not for me, Golden Temple.
The outstanding Henry de Bromhead, he is just that, whether it's jumps or flats, has mixed the two with Gentleman Joe. How do you think this horse could go?
I think he's capable, but his overall record is slightly checkered, little hit and miss. He came back here, I think, from a 10-month absence in an amateur riders race at Listowel. He stays on strongly, no question. He's a pretty useful horse on his day. His overall record is that little bit unpredictable for me. It's a wide open handicap. Don't let me put him off you too much, but there are any number of possibilities here, and there's 1 or 2, 3 or 4 I fancy more than him, Fran. What do you think of Gentleman Joe?
I think the track at the Curragh will suit him much better than a sharp speed favouring track at Listowel. He scrambled home here. The eventual second, a little bit unlucky. It was a good return to action, Graham. I do think there's a good day in him. Conditions should suit him very well. It's just a question off a mark of 94 where he fits in, but he should be in the mix.
Fran, I'll stick with you on Levita Nova. First run for getting on for a year last time. First run in a handicap. She was a very expensive filly. if she can build on this and gets to 2 miles, she might enter calculations, mightn't she?
Cracking effort, Nick, and last year was a good winner at Limerick, over almost 2,400 metres, and after a long layoff, returning to the track in Irish Guineas weekend in a handicap like this, you'd have to love the way she performed. The winner, Robbie's Rock, had a high level of form over hurdles, albeit unexposed and flat, and he also had the benefit of race fitness. And Levita Nova chased him in vain inside the final furlong. But given the length of time she's been off the track, the way the race played for her, she can only improve off that. Third home common practice also in the mix here on Sunday, ran a good race. But Levita Nova, lightly raced up and trip, can only improve off that effort.
All of those sentiments I agree with. Right, Graham, come on, whittle it down. 29 runners, has to go down to just 4.
Oof, this is tough. I'm going to side with Willie Mullins. Interesting that William Buick stays on to the nightcap to ride 2 Bossy for Us, who cost 300 and something thousand guineas to buy from Kevin Philip Foy's English Yard. Very solid form in a couple of good Haydock flat handicaps. In very deep in a couple of hurdles runs. I think Willie might have the key to him. First time back on the flat. Back up 8 Mordor, one in real style last time out. Could still be well handicapped. 17 common practice and 14 La Vita Nova, but a massive feel for the last. It's too bossy for us. For me, Fran, what about you?
Going to go with a horse who we've not seen the track for a long length of time, but he has a very good record fresh. Only the 5 starts for the top one, London City, who won a handicap at a Dante meeting back in 2024 in a really good manner. I think he could be a group horse in a handicap. He will have to be for stall 26, but Ryan Moore rides for trainer Aidan Bryan. London City just maybe classier than his dual-purpose counterparts. Number 1 to win. Willie Mullins, William Buick back in second. 2 Bossy for Us, number 6. Gentleman Joe for Henry de Bromhead, number 3. Back in third, number 3. And Mordor, recent winner at Killarney, likely to get in the mix for the minor money. Number 8 back in fourth.
Okay, that'll be number 14, Levita Nova for me. All that's left to say is thank you, Graham. Thank you, Fran, as well. And indeed, thank you for watching as we get to the end of the marathon. 29 runner field, which is the last of 9 races. Enjoy this big whirlpool day at the Curragh on Sunday. Thanks for watching.